Welcome back to Cable 10 Live. I'm your host, Randy Prasad, and we're talking about nutrition and maintaining our New Year's resolutions. We're 2 months in. How have you guys been doing? You want some tips? Call us right now. 905-848-LIVE is the number to call. You can join me here at the round table as I'm joined by fitness extraordinaire from Good Life Fitness. Indeed, we got Ben McDonald with us. You know what? We're talking about getting out there and going to the gym, getting out there and eating right. How much is rest important in the equation of good health and proper fitness?
Hugely important, my friend.
Great, I'm gonna go to sleep. Hey, I'll sleep for 15 hours on the sofa. I'll be perfectly fine. No, go ahead.
I think that what we miss out on is we focus very, very heavily on exercise.
Right.
We focus a little bit on nutrition, but as far as sleep and stress management goes,
Right.
we're so wide of the mark, it's untrue. And I think that those two play a huge component. It's all to do with our hormonal system and our hormonal response to what it is that we do as human beings.
Well, what does that mean to someone when you say hormonal response? What does that mean to me or to us that we're just passive weightlifters or nutritionists or whatnot? What does that mean?
I would say that everything that we do creates a response in the body. Hormones are like chemicals, messengers that shoot all over the place around the body.
Right.
So we've got loads of different ones. My wife's got loads of hormones.
Right.
She tells me all the time, right?
Exactly.
So what we have to do is think about the response that we're going to get from the food that we ingest, because proteins, fats, carbohydrates, they all have, and processed foods, all have a different response hormonally. Also, what we've got to think about is stress. We're designed for a saber-toothed tiger to jump in the room,
That's right.
and then we either run off or we fight it.
Exactly.
But now we've got stacks of paperwork on our desk, and
we're sitting at the cubicle and we're not moving.
That's how it goes. We're chronically stressed.
We're going to take the call right now, Mehek from Mississauga. Mehek, you're on the line with us. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, what's your question?
My question is, do our body get used to exercise? For example, if we do a regular exercise and we get good results for first few months or first few days, and then after that the body gets used to it, and we don't see the results get stagnant. We don't see any result after a few days.
Well, it's a plateau effect, right?
Yeah, so what we've got is, Mehek, is that your body is what's referred to as the master adapter, and it'll adapt to any stress that you put upon it, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological, any stress. So as we sort of adapt to the training program that we have to periodize and progress our training, even though everybody thinks periodization and progression is for athletes to achieve an overall response. They also periodize, but even in our limited training, we still need to periodize. Otherwise, like you say, we plateau, and then eventually we will regress as well.
Are you doing any kind of routines at home in terms of exercise or?
Yeah, actually, my husband used to walk to work for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And
So you're inquiring on his behalf. Okay.
yeah, he walks really fast, and then when he started walking, he lost quite a lot of weight in approximately 2 months, but now we don't see any change in his weight.
Right.
So that's what my question was, is his body has got used to the exercise or the walk he does every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His body's basically adapted, and what we have to do is it's what's referred to as progressive overload.
Right.
So what we have to do is a little bit more and a little bit more, get a little harder, a little more intense every time that we train, and just tweak things just a touch. So it might be that your husband can buy a pair of running shoes
And just start running.
Yeah,
Or
and
get a bicycle, right?
Exactly right. Maybe run a lamppost, jog a lamppost, walk a lamppost, run a lamppost.
Parkour, anything. I wouldn't if I tried, but yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to the fact of changing things up for sure.
Exactly.
There is thank you so much, Mike, for the call. I appreciate it. Now, one thing that I've stumbled across this thought of there's the best time to work out. For men and women. And I don't know if this is a rumor or if this is true, but I've heard men get better performance in their workouts, or better results, I should say, in the evening, and women maximize and get the best results of their workouts in the morning. Is there any truth to that myth, or is it really just a myth?
I would say, unless you're training a sort of elite level athlete,
Right.
I would say work out whenever you can.
Exactly.
If you've got a bit of time at lunch, it's like saying, oh, well, I get optimal results in the morning. So I can't train this morning, so I'm not going to train.
I'm not trying to create any excuses.
That's how it goes,
Well,
you see.
yeah.
So if you've got a little bit of time here and there, it may be that on the commercial break.
Right.
We can see how many squats you can do while on the commercial break, or see how many push-ups you can do on a commercial break. You know, whatever it may be, anything that we do that's going to aid to that overall like total volume of exercise that we can do in a day is going to be beneficial.
You know, and for some people who may not have the means of transportation or for a variety of reasons that cannot attend the gym, but wants to figure out, well, what can I incorporate in my lifestyle, especially if I sit at the cubicle 9 to 5, Monday to Fridays. What kind of desk routines or, you know, office routines or, you know, by the lunchroom or whatnot, what can you do or early in the morning before you go to work that you can do in your bedroom? Like things that come to my mind are push-ups and sit-ups and that, or maybe go out for the morning jog. But what are some things that come to your mind when you can do home workouts that are just as effective as a gym?
There's plenty of things that you can do. I mean, if you're looking at, one of the biggest things is if we are sat down for a long period of the day,
Right.
one of the biggest components we've got to look at is flexibility.
Right.
Because if we don't make ourselves more flexible, then we begin to get postural issues and back pain and all these things that are associated with sitting for long periods of time.
Right.
The worst invention ever for human evolution was the chair.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
Because we spend that much time sat down. It's ridiculous when you think about it.
And the thing is now, oh, you know what? We actually have a caller on the line right now from Mississauga. We have Sandra from Mississauga. Sandra, you're on the line with us.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Your question.
I have a question about what kind of exercises you should do for muscle building as opposed to fat burning.
Oh.
Is there a difference?
I would say personally, you can do a muscle building workout and you can do a fat burning workout, and just the exercises can remain the same.
Right.
We just tweak the rep range and the intensity and the rest periods in between each exercise.
Right.
But muscle building is in essence going to burn through body fat, you know, because muscle mass is what's called metabolically demanding.
Okay.
And it needs calories just to stay there.
Right.
So I would say for females, especially resistance training and picking up heavy things and putting them down again is not only functional, but it's gonna get the overall results of weight management as a byproduct.
So more repetition and less weights?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, what we might do is if I've got somebody doing an exercise routine that's specifically aimed at muscle building, and then we move into, say, a fat burning protocol, I may just take the rest periods directly out of the training program, you know, to keep the heart rate elevated for the duration of the session.
Actually, that's an interesting question. I want to talk about heart rate. What routines are you into right now, Sandra? What kind of exercise regimen are you in at this point?
To be honest, that's my second question.
Okay.
For people who are really, really busy, we have school, we have work, and then we have volunteering. So what would you recommend if a person has a really tight schedule and doesn't really have time to work out every day?
Okay, Sandra, what I would say is this. You have to get bang for your buck.
Right.
So what you want to do is don't go in the gym and run on a treadmill for half an hour or run on a treadmill for an hour or go on a cross trainer or whatever it may be. You go in, you perform. You need to get intensity and consistency. If you do a decent intensity workout, so a relatively high intensity workout, that will keep your metabolic rate elevated when you are outside of the training
What does
session.
intensity mean? If I'm lifting one weight and I'm like struggling and I'm ready to drop it, in my mind, I'm thinking that's intensity at its max. Like, what is intensity defined by?
It depends on what you're looking at, whether it's resistance or whether it's cardiovascular training.
Okay.
Intensity, when you look at resistance training, is a percentage of your one repetition maximum. So your one rep max is just the maximum number of weight you can pick up for one rep. That is 100% intensity.
There you go.
And the further away from that you get, the lower the intensity. But sometimes the higher the perceived intensity.
Right.
They're two separate things. So perceived intensity is how hard you feel that you're working. And sometimes the two can be different things.
Your thoughts, Sandra?
Yep. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for the call. When we go to the gym and we see all these machines out there, and it's overwhelming. And actually, you know, it also piques your curiosity. Oh, wow, I didn't know my arms and legs can bend that way. This is great. What does heart rate and the importance of heart rate have to do with the overall success of our workouts? Because when we're on the treadmill, we see the button. There's a heart rate, and all you're thinking is, I just need to stand here and sit or be on here for 20 minutes. And as long as I see the calories, you know, start rising, I'm burning, I'm fine. Why should I factor in heart rate, and what makes it so important in the effectiveness of my workout?
It really depends on the overall objective of the workout, and it depends on the overall fitness, cardiovascular fitness of the person that's training. If you've got somebody who's obese, let's say, then at 50% of their maximum heart rate, then you see decent benefits.
Okay.
If you've got someone who's a lot more cardiovascularly fit, then they may need to elevate the heart rate a little higher.
Right.
But the heart is what's referred to as the myocardium. It's cardiac muscle, and like any muscle, what'll happen is the more we train it, the bigger and stronger it becomes. So if we're talking about being in Healthy Heart Week, or Healthy Heart Month, should I say, my apologies, then training to get that heart nice and big and strong is going to offset any sort of cardiovascular disease further on down the line.
You know, that's really interesting, because there's many people that who suffer with enlarged hearts.
Yes.
And they have a hard time breathing in that. And how do we address them to say, well, we have to shrink your heart and make sure it's optimum, but you need to exercise? And it's like, well, I don't have any breath in me to exercise because my heart's enlarged. What kind of program would you cater to those that have heart conditions?
I would always advise that they go and see a professional in that field.
Right.
Cardiac rehabilitation is a serious field to get into. Good Life have just developed a gymnasium in one of the hospitals that specialises for cardiac rehabilitation.
Wow. You know, where can we find you online? Facebook, Twitter, and all that fun stuff. Where can we get in contact with you? Websites?
I think the best bet would be, as far as with Good Life, if you go and follow the Good Life Facebook page, we're doing 28 tips for a Healthy Heart Month.
There you go.
What's going to get you started? If you want to come and follow me, mate, you can go on and look me up, Ben McDonald.
There you go.
On Facebook.
Oh my God, I look forward to it. You're going to put me into shape for the summer. I'm going to need it. Thank you so much. Folks, we're going to be back with more right here on Cable 10 Live. I'm Randy Prasad. Stay with us.